After the last 2 years with Dimitri, I thought we'd seen every battlefield there is to see in Fargus. But Magdred Way, huh? This one's new.
A little foggy, don't you think? I might even hazard to call it a lot foggy. You've never fought in conditions like these, so you do well to keep what wits you have about you. If you're not careful in this fog, you could find yourself walking straight off a cliff. Horrible way to go, if you ask me.
Come on, you're not my mom. I can handle myself.
Wow, look who woke up on the confidence side of the bed. If that's how you feel, maybe you don't even need my help anymore.
You know what? Yeah. Why don't you sit this one out? I've got a thing or two I can show you.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. And, just in case you forgot, if you die, I go with you. Our fates are intertwined, so don't do anything too reckless. You understand?
I can fight as well.
There's no telling where our enemies might be lurking in this fog. Be at the ready for potential ambushes.
In any case, we lack the luxury of waiting for it to clear. Renato must be found and put to the sword as soon as possible. We will begin by advancing our front line. All forces, prepare to march.
No backing down. Not even against the king himself. We fight for Lord Renato.
A large step.
This is almost too easy. Press our advantage.
Wait, that's it?
Everyone, fall back! We need to regroup!
All is proceeding apace, but don't let up. And keep an eye out for ambushes. Time to get to work. Those mercenaries must be reinforcements from the Empire. Everyone, gird yourselves.
Didn't think I'd get another shot at the Ashen Demon this soon.
You're more capable than I expected.
They're holding back. So much for gauging their strength.
Witness my true power!
Looks like I'm late. Guess I'll get working on my orders.
Is that Emblem from House Gautier? What's he doing here?
So, my brother's joining us. Looks like His Majesty really pulled out all the stops.
I'll stop the enemy dead in their tracks.
You lot use your brains and figure out how we win this thing.
Someone must be giving these mercenaries their orders. We're going to find them. Dicron can handle things on his own.
I didn't expect they'd have reinforcements, but it doesn't change much. We know what we have to do. Now all that's left is to do it.
Are you seriously going to sit back and let someone else handle the Ashen Demon for you?
Not good enough. Enough of this foolishness.
Oh, please.
No regrets! We were a formidable opponent. Would that we could have finished them here. But greed in battle will only end in tragedy.
So they beat the kid. These kingdom folks are tougher than I thought.
Gerald's bad, but my only hope is that I don't get you all killed. That funeral would truly be a grave affair.
No regrets!
Come then, let us fight with honor. I won't be the one to drag my new comrade down. I can stand this no longer. I'm falling back.
Beloved, we should reach their commander if we can get past Eloise.
Out of the way!
I'm getting
Show you no mercy!
It was only a matter of time till they found us. Let's give them a nice, warm welcome.
They're tough. These are no ordinary mercs.
Years are starting to catch up to me. This job's not worth dying over. Fall back!
So the mercenaries have fled. Very well. On to the next. Send in the auxiliary units.
Those mercs are gone, but this fog is still as thick as ever.
It's likely that sorcery is to blame for the predicament we find ourselves in.
Then we'll just have to cut those mages down. If they're the ones invoking this fog, defeating them should dispel it.
I'm not gonna die here.
They found us! To arms! Your trickery ends here. The rest falls to you, Lord Renato.
The fog is lifting! We did it!
The time for subterfuge has passed. We shall meet now in honest combat. And victory will be ours, Renato. Come, everyone. We will overwhelm our foes.
done so much to ingratiate himself with the Empire. We can't exactly leave our new friend to die, can we?
No, not now! Minato is but one step away!
If we can just try to reason with Dorothea, then, we might be able to settle things peacefully.
I had a feeling something like this might happen, so I prepared a technique of my own to guard against their magic.
The might of a Drestier is on our side.
Yeah, no.
Yes, with our combined forces.
Messengers! We need to stop them before they call for backup.
My accomplishments won't mean a thing if I'm not still standing when the battle's over.
Emblem is truly vast. I have no idea it was home to people as strong as you.
Thank you. This will surely help. And not a moment too soon.
Is this the end? No, I can keep fighting.
Dorothea, please! I don't want to see you die for nothing.
I can't say I want that either. All right, you win.
If His Majesty means to shelter those vile church rats, then I shall rebuke him to my final breath. Fling open the gates. I have burned far too many bridges to turn back now.
Renato, it's time to settle this.
Will see Kristoff avenged, even at the cost of my own life.
Here it comes! Out of the way! You're done!
Out of the way!
Forgive your fool of a father, Kristoff, for he is soon to join you.
The battle is over. A fine effort, everyone. Especially considering the conditions.
Guess we did our job at least.
Well, well, doesn't someone sound disappointed? And what's with that look?
I don't know. We completed our mission and all, but it still feels like we lost somehow. Sure, we stopped Leonardo, and we put Geralt and his mercenaries to rout. But not before they dragged us through one of the toughest fights we've experienced. And most of all, I failed to take down the Ashen Demon. If that's not a loss, I don't know what is.
Wrong. You were hired to do a job, and you did it. And in the process, you've received a valuable reminder about the unique danger the Ashen Demon poses.
You're right. I can't believe one fighter could turn the tide of an entire battle like that.
Precisely. They're surely going to continue standing in our way, so do try to dig a little deeper the next time you square off.
Yeah, you're probably right. Thanks for the chat.
By the by, have you seen our valiant leader? I wonder where he's scampered off to.
No Felix or the others in sight either. Maybe they're having a meeting or something.
Sounds like you should try to track them down then. Though, on second thought, it may not be any of your business.
I probably shouldn't be sticking my nose into their private matters. But I am pretty curious. Let's go.
My
No matter what. I feel myself.
There is little time for idling.
I hope I can...
Wish this wasn't...
I won't let myself.
Yeah, no...
I work to grow. I still have talent, I see. I've grasped.
You did well, Miklon. I will remember the deeds you've performed here today.
You know as well as I that I only did it for the money. Your money.
That's the man from before.
I don't mean to question you, but why exactly are you eavesdropping on them?
It looks like they're having an argument. Butting in now would just make things worse.
What are you playing at, Boar? This washed-up bandit doesn't deserve to look at our army, let alone be a commander in it.
It's a decision I made in collaboration with the Margrave. 2 years ago, after I ascended the throne, I ordered Gustav to capture him, made him swear his allegiance to the royal family, and gave him a unit of soldiers to command.
Spare me the details of how you did it. What I want to know is why.
My army was lacking leaders. We needed capable fighters to fill in the gaps. As for Miklon here, the Margrave himself has instructed him in all manner of military tactics. I've seen his prowess with my own 2 eyes. In the centuries since the time of King Lugh, crests and relics have kept Fargus safe. We've come to depend on that power to protect us from outside attacks, and grown all too complacent in its wake. Naturally, we will take full advantage of our heroes' relics in the battles ahead with Adrestia. But we cannot protect our home with relics alone. If all who could wield them fell, so too would we. The blood of the heroes is thinner now than ever before. We need men like him among our ranks.
I don't doubt the truth of your words, but that's not the issue here. Do you really think it appropriate to trust a man barely removed from his life as a brigand with the responsibility of command?
Everyone's heard the stories of the elder Gautier brother, how he resorted to banditry and plunder. Do you not think our soldiers would object to being led by a man with such history?
Command, huh? It's got a nice ring to it. But you should know, I'm just a prisoner. My attendants, my aides, my best men, all stooges for the royal family. Breathing down my neck every waking moment. All the sleeping moments, too.
No wise remarks, Sylvain? You're standing there mute, as if this has nothing to do with you.
I was one of the first His Majesty consulted with. There's nothing I could say that I haven't already. I'm sure you can't stand the sight of me, Miklon. But let's see if we can't get along, okay?
Anyway, now that we're all caught up, I'll await your next orders, Your Majesty, sir.
Let me guess. Any means necessary?
I won't defend it. Though I do see use in such a man. What he did in his time as a bandit was monstrous, I admit that. And I deserve no small amount of judgment for giving him command in spite of it. But I can't help but wonder. Perhaps his life could have been dramatically different had he only possessed a crest. Same as the uncle I murdered.
I understand your reasoning, Your Majesty. Yet he's hurt so many people.
What's done is done. Stolen goods may be returned, but stolen lives cannot. If the man is unwilling to atone for his wrongdoings, then he will pay for it with his head. If he does wish to repent, however, then what better way to do so than by risking his life on behalf of our people? If any among us still can't forgive him, by all means, take up your arms and enact vengeance.
I get what you're trying to do, but you still should have talked to us first. This isn't about who shoulders what blame. It's a matter of letting us know what you're thinking.
You're right, Felix. My apologies. Now then, we march on Aryan Road as planned. With House Rowe's military might crippled, seizing the fortress should be a somewhat simpler matter.
The Silver Maiden. Can we really take it?
You saw how many troops they've already lost. Just plain math will tell you there can't be that many of them left back at the fortress. At least I sure hope not.
And I am sure Houses Karen and Geraint would be willing to lend us a few squadrons in return for the aid we provided them.
Agreed. And their militaries are both formidable indeed. I'll have to factor their support into our strategies moving forward. And what of you, Ash? Will you be joining the fight at Aryan Road?
Yes, I will. Though I do appreciate the concern, Your Majesty.
As long as you're sure you can handle it. Do not hesitate to retreat if it becomes too much for you. House Rowe's forces aside, we now have the added threat of Geralt and his mercenary band to contend with. The very same mercenary band you had been looking for, is it not?
Yeah. One of them in particular, a warrior known as the Ashen Demon, felled my entire company back before I met you. Not sure I'm looking for revenge exactly, but I do want to surpass them, no matter what it takes.
I see. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Sorry, I wasn't really trying to hide it or anything. Just never came up, I guess.
I believe I understand. Overcoming Geralt and his mercenaries is what drives you in life.
Yeah, you could say that. It's the closest thing to a goal I have, for sure.
In any case, those people cannot be taken lightly. I'd like to avoid crossing blades with them as much as we can, though we'll likely encounter them sooner rather than later. Imperial forces are still encamped in the former Arendelle territory, after all.
Right. We'd better be ready for anything.
Azure Gleam. Conspiracy in the air. Having laid Lonato low, the kingdom's army proceeds south. Count Rowe, who had prior declared fealty to the Empire, surrenders, and Aryan Road falls back into kingdom hands. With its foothold in the west lost, the Empire amasses troops in the former Arendelle territory to the south, prompting the army of Fargus to strike before Adrestia can regain its footing.
It's nice Aryan Road fell with little more than a hand wave, but it's hardly comfortable knowing the enemy is still on our doorstep.
Comfortable or no, we must take what few chances we do have to rest. Battle will be upon us again before we know it.
Not to mention the fortress is still a target. I mean, who wouldn't want their very own impregnable stronghold?
Our spies report that the enemy plans to mount such an attack from Arendelle land.
Arendelle, huh? It's been 2 years since the territory came under the Emperor's control. The wind carries rumors that Edelgard has been keeping Lord Arendelle imprisoned in his home since then. If it's true, I'll... No. Were the enemy to strike, and the fortress city to somehow fall, our path forward in this war would grow exceedingly perilous.
The West doesn't face the kind of constant threats we do, so there aren't as many strongholds here as in the North, right?
Basically. Though my uncle did say that started to change at least a tiny bit in the past couple of years.
In other words, the entire western region of the kingdom is likely to fall into enemy hands if we retreat from Aryan Road now.
Indeed. Which is exactly why we must take the offensive and restrain this Imperial snake before it can sink its fangs into us.
Hey, it'll be nice to strike first for once. It feels like we've been on the back foot for a while now.
Right you are. And remaining on perpetual defense would only lead to more meaningless, preventable deaths.
Whatever we decide to do, we need to stay on guard. Geralt and his mercenaries could be around any corner.
Yes, who knows when you might have another fateful duel with the Ashen Demon. Hmm?
Your Majesty, I bear terrible news.
Calm yourself. What is it?
The convoy escorting Count Rowe to the capital has been attacked by an unknown assailant. They've sustained heavy losses, and it seems Count Rowe has gone missing amid the chaos.
I see. And these assailants, we know nothing about them?
Very little, Your Majesty. The survivors claim to have been attacked by numerous mages.
Mages? No.
What's wrong? Do you know who it is?
You saw the court mage Cornelia during our battle at Ferdiad, yes? Well, she disappeared almost immediately after. It's likely she has been burrowed away in western Fargus ever since. Which leads me to wonder if this attack wasn't her handiwork somehow. It's merely a feeling, though. I'd like to look into it further, if possible. But something tells me the Imperial soldiers won't wait around patiently while we go off hunting for clues.
Perhaps you should send a separate unit to investigate, while we attend to the Empire.
Yes, that would be prudent for now. We cannot afford to lower our guard for even a moment.
Hey there.
How's it going?
My instruction comes at a high price.
don't neglect your daily studies.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Fine enough. I could use this.
I have yet more. I'm a better man now.
Hey, this'll help me break. I make no excuses for our performance. I've grasped.
Got to give this a
This should come in handy.
I'm a better man now.
I'll be able to help even. This'll help me break. A new power is.
Our training was mutually beneficial.
I still have.
I could use.
I'm a better man now than.
Hey, a new.
I work.
I think that is enough for today.
I could use.
I'm a better man now.
Hey, this'll help me break. A new power.
Time to work you into shape. proper training, you'll be unstoppable.
You know, Felix, I've been thinking. Actually, never mind.
What? You can't say that and then not tell me. Come on, out with it.
Okay, it's just... Even though you never show it, I can tell you really care about Dimitri and the others. You all right there, Felix? There's no reason to get all choked up over it.
It's your fault for saying something so ridiculous.
Hey, you're the one who asked. But it's true, isn't it? I know I'm right.
And what proof do you have?
Well, for one, you move way better when you're fighting alongside them.
That's only because I've known them so long now I can predict their every move. The boar always rushes straight into enemy lines, so I have to be ready to cover him. Of course, few can survive one of his mad dashes. But I can't just leave him alone. The man doesn't give his own safety a second thought. We don't coordinate, though. I just stick around to make sure the coast is clear for him to run wild.
Huh. But when you're fighting with Ingrid, you're usually the one who ends up charging forward.
Yes, because her Pegasus is an easy target for enemy archers. It's better for me to dash ahead first and eliminate any potential threats. Not that she's incapable of dodging an arrow or two. But she loses sight of her surroundings in the heat of battle. If she advanced before I did, a cloud of arrows would be the end of her.
Uh-huh. So then why do you always get surrounded when you're fighting with Sylvain?
Because the braggart always insists on showing off. Though if nothing else, he does have the skill to fight his way out of any bind.
Sounds like that's not part of your strategy then. But you'd still never pull it off if you didn't trust each other.
It's all natural for a soldier.
Honestly, it's impressive how well you work with everyone. I should take a page or two out of your book and learn more about the people I fight with. Maybe having a better grasp on their personalities would help me coordinate our movements better.
Who knows? You're welcome to try, at least. If you've already got a good read on me, the others shouldn't be an issue. Anyway, we're done here. Talking to you is exhausting.
Huh. So House Yvonne is actually just a branch of House Blaythed?
Yes. Though really, if you trace any noble bloodline back far enough, you will find most of them are related in one way or another. For example, Duke Yvonne possesses the crest of Karen, while her grandfather possessed the minor crest of Fraldarius. Yet another of her ancestors bore the crest of Blaythed, which is passed down through the royal bloodline.
So you just gotta have a crest to inherit the family title, huh? Doesn't matter which one it is?
In general, yes. The nobility used to be more particular about their requirements, but that is in the past now. Since the houses all keep intermingling, none of them really have a pure bloodline anymore. Meaning they don't get to be picky about which crests they get. Though in truth, the main reason why crests are so valued is because they allow their bearers to wield the hero's relics, passed down through generations. In other words, one who possesses a crest compatible with the family's relic is much more likely to inherit the family title.
Huh. Speaking of, you're the heir to House Galatea, but your crest comes from another family, right?
Yes, but my house is a little different from the others. We originally split off from House Daphne in Leicester, you see. And at times in our history, crest bearers have been passed over entirely for the inheritance.
Ugh, can't you just pick a rule and stick to it? Why do you nobles always have to make stuff so complicated?
complicated or not, this is important knowledge if you are going to keep serving His Majesty. If you stay ignorant, the soldiers you command will lose respect for you, and His Majesty's reputation will be irreparably damaged.
Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't be complaining after I asked you to teach me. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, right. You're the legitimate heir and you have a crest, which means you're gonna inherit the family title someday. But what about all that talk of becoming a knight? Can you even do that if you're leading your house?
No. I have dreamt of obtaining knighthood and defending the king ever since I was a little girl. But I'm afraid it's not meant to be.
And none of your siblings have crests, do they? Isn't there anyone who can take the title for you?
My eldest brother says he is willing to do so if necessary. After all, the decision comes down to what the family and the heir want. Usually, leadership passes to a child with a crest. There have been exceptions, as I mentioned before. Even so, it is the duty of every kingdom noble to take up their relic in defense of their people. Not to mention, my father is not the only one who wants to see me in charge of the house. The citizens of Galatea are hoping for the same.
Huh. I'm not sure I really get all the politics behind it, since I wasn't born in the kingdom. But wouldn't you still be able to protect the king, even if you ended up a count?
I am not sure I follow.
Sorry, I can explain some other time. There's a story about a mercenary I'd love to tell you.
Well, if it isn't our mercenary friend, I trust you've adjusted to life in the kingdom by now.
Yeah, more or less. I've been here a few times before on the job, so it's not too big a shock. But I've never lived as far north as Ferdiad. There's still a bunch I need to get used to. Stuff like the wind blowing straight through you, or how it's always so stupidly cold, even inside, or how you can't go out after a blizzard. It snowed so much one night that I couldn't even open the door in the morning. Thought I was off to meet the goddess that day.
An amusing enough story when you tell it like that. But Fargus winters are no joke. They're harsh, unforgiving beasts. Tell me, have you grown to despise the cold?
It's not so bad. I mean, sure, all the snow is really annoying. But it's also beautiful. You can't see lamplit streets covered in this stuff anywhere but here.
I thought the same when I was young. Though the more years I gain, the more frustrating it becomes. Nevertheless, this brutal tundra is the only home we have. Meaning there's nothing to do but adapt, persevere, and enjoy the lives we've built here.
Adapt? Like how the messengers ride Pegasi instead of horses during the winter?
Exactly. The sight of those majestic creatures soaring through the frost-ridden sky is one unique to Fargus. No matter how much snow blankets the ground, our Pegasi, quite literally, rise to the occasion. When my son and His Majesty were still just boys, they followed one off into the frigid mountains of all places. By the time I found them, they were but two shivering masses on the ground. For a moment, I thought my heart would never beat again.
So Felix has been getting into trouble ever since he was a kid, huh?
His penchant for danger is unchanged, yes. Though I fear his disposition has grown far sharper. The hardships of becoming Duke at his age are undoubtedly weighing upon his mind.
I don't know. I don't think you need to worry about him. He can take care of himself just fine.
A fair point. Perhaps it's time I let him spread his wings like the Pegasus he chased all those years ago. It seems the coming winter will bring more than just cold to Fargus. The ravages of war approach on the same wind. Training in such conditions will be a struggle indeed, but we cannot afford to ignore the looming Srang threat either. Managing our territories through it all will not be an easy task. But I have faith we will adapt, persevere, and overcome. just as we always have.
Next winter, huh? We'll just have to do whatever it takes to make sure the war's over by then.
Oh, it's so late. I didn't mean to take this much of a detour.
Just getting back?
Hey, Dudu. Hope I didn't worry you.
You didn't. You were in town, yes?
I went to pick up some supplies, but on the way back I saw these flowers blooming, and I just couldn't help but pick some.
Ah, yarrows.
They're used as an ingredient in healing salves. Although you can also slap the leaves on your wounds and get mostly the same effect. Oh, and I plan on soaking them in alcohol. It'll produce a liquid that can be used for a wonderful ointment. Though I suppose it would be faster to just use healing magic.
You seem well informed on the subject.
Lenato knew all about it. So I picked up a few things from him.
Lord Lenato had an interest in plants?
Oh, sure. He kept tons of botanical encyclopedias and books like that in his room. He loved flowers. He even kept a small herb garden at Castle Gaspar. Hey, you like gardening too, right? I mean, you were always watering the flowers in the greenhouse back at Garreg Mach.
I suppose I do, though I know little of the medicinal properties.
I guess knowing how to grow plants is different from knowing how to use them.
Even so, the greenhouse was a treasure to me.
You're right about that. I found flowers there I'd never even seen in Castle Gaspar's garden.
I would like very much to visit this garden of yours one day.
We should go! Of course, a lot has happened since I last saw it, but my younger siblings should still be looking after it.
I look forward to it. Though, how did Lord Lenato come to know so much about medicinal herbs?
He used to serve Grand Duke Rufus, so maybe he studied them while he was in the capital.
Perhaps.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here chatting away when I should be off making myself useful.
Of course. Medicinal herbs.
From the slimy depths of the swamp they rise, great beasties of every shape and size. They dance in a ring and... No, that's not right. Their slime they fling and... Huh? Who's there?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Are you getting in a little choir practice there?
Oh, it's you, Sylvain. Were you listening that whole time?
Pretty much. I must say, that song's super creative. You're the only person I know who could think of something like that.
I feel like you were about to use another word there.
Nope. Great song. Top notch. A+. Are you going to perform it soon?
I was actually gonna sing it for everyone later tonight. I came up with the lyrics and tune myself. And now that I'm finished, I can perform it loud and proud.
And it's a song about swamp beasties. Did I hear that part right?
And what's wrong with swamp beasties?
Nothing in particular. It's just that if you're gonna sing it in front of everyone, maybe it should be, I don't know, relatable? I mean, swamp beasties are so beastie. Ugh. Wouldn't it be better with a puppy or a baby sheep or something cute like that?
I see what you're saying. Cute animals, cute animals. Oh, what about bears? Huge ones.
Yeah, I guess huge bears are better than beasties. I mean, they are pretty cute when they're not trying to tear your face off. Okay, that's good. Except I'm pretty sure bears don't live in swamps. So if you switch it up, it should probably be about giant bears dancing in the woods.
That is the most adorable thing I've ever heard. Are you secretly a professional songwriter, Sylvain?
Absolutely not. In fact, I feel like I should apologize for butting in with ideas when you've clearly been working so hard on this.
Oh, don't apologize. If it helps make it a song everyone will enjoy, I'm all for it. I'm glad we're close enough for you to give your honest opinion.
Well, I've never been one to ignore hardworking girls like you. And I'd love to hear it when it's finished. Wait, what's with the look? Did you come up with the new lyrics already?
Yep. Your suggestions gave me all the inspiration I needed.
impressive. Why don't you sing it for me?
Of course! I'm sure you'll love it. From the forest they appear, a sleuth of bears with cute round ears. They dance in a ring and enjoy the beats, but tonight they'll feast on meaty treats.
That actually might be more creepy somehow. But hey, maybe writing weird songs is a talent all of its own. At the very least, they're great at distracting me from real-life worries. Thanks, Annette.
Care to make yourself useful? We all must do our fair share.
Hunger is the true enemy.
Solid.
This is
I don't want...
Come back whenever you're hungry.
Care to make yourself useful? We all must do our fair share. Care to make yourself useful? We all must do our fair share.
Hey.
What kind of greeting is that? I gave you my title, not free license for insolence.
Spare me the lecture. I have a question about the lords of Southern Fraldaria's territory.
So you're having trouble with them as well, are you? Let me guess. They're withholding provisions. Or perhaps they refuse to send troops they promised.
How did you know?
Because I've been through the same thing with them any number of times.
Southern soldiers are unskilled, but they make up for it with sheer numbers. I need their cooperation, yet they refuse to negotiate. And I have no idea how to convince them.
Yes. I imagine they're dealing with their own issues.
And what issues would those be?
When they refused to send reinforcements for the invasion of Sreng, it was because the lords were embroiled in a succession dispute. If one house sent soldiers, the others would pounce on the opportunity to move against them. But mere letters could never have told you something like that.
So you went around to each territory personally?
Yes. Though considering we're presently on war footing, doing so now would be unwise.
Well, that's hardly helpful, but I'll take it into consideration and see what I can do. Something funny?
Just thinking that you've grown into a fine duke.
Were you expecting me to fail? You're the one who gave me the title, after all.
True. But I inherited the role when I was much older than you. You're doing extremely well for your age. It seems I raised two very capable sons.
Don't tell me you're glorifying Glenn's death again.
Felix.
I've been walking in your footsteps, serving our king and leading an army of knights. After all that, I thought maybe I'd come to understand you a bit better, but I still can't stomach what you said that day.
Looks like I overstepped yet again. Perhaps the two of us will never see eye to eye. If Glenn were alive, I half suspect he'd say I was being childish.